Yo, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, the place where we talk about non-verbal communication, human dynamics, relationships, game, and everything in between. Alright. Two links down in the description of the video. One of it will take you to the catalogue of body language. It's a YouTube playlist I've composed of my own material, as to which you will learn how to read people through their own subconscious behaviours. Alright, you'll learn to read minds, giving you follow and listen the information I provide. Second is a link to the Patreon, where you will join me in watching real life first dates. We will assess, observe, and correctly analyze the seduction, attraction, and repulsion cues given off by both man and woman. You'll internalize that behavior, and it'll be game you won't find elsewhere. Now, let's move on. Quite a simple one, but we'll see where we can bounce off with this one. Let me just tell you right now, she can sense your desperation. She knows you're desperate, given you are, of course. She can tell that you are desperate for her, and that's off-putting, because that desperation indirectly is putting her on a pedestal. It's stating, I'm desperate for you, I need you. Okay? So if I need air, I'm desperate for air or I'll die, right? It's not a subconscious, or unconscious should I say, natural situation I have going on where I just take it for granted. I'm breathing air because I get all the air I want. I've done this each and every day of my life. I'm fine. Alright? So you are showing that you need her like you need air. You are desperate for her, okay? You are running out of air. You're dying, essentially. She's not going to find that attractive. She's going to find that repulsive. She's going to be attracted to the light, like a fly is attracted to the light. Whereas you are going to portray darkness to that fly, given that you portray yourself as a dark room as opposed to a gleaming light, symbolic of her attraction to you as opposed to the vice versa. Okay, now this is where it gets complicated, and this is incredibly economic and mathematical, and just is really something else. This is, in my opinion, one of the hardest aspects of the game, given you haven't reached a certain standard of success that speaks before you do. You know? Pardon me. This aspect of the game is verging on spiritual, philosophical, the pulling of a woman towards your light because you are attracted in her, yet having to portray the opposite while still remaining within communication with this woman is an incredible fine line you have to walk. Now, you can only really start to understand this dynamic given you experience it time and time again and see the pulls and the pushes that exist within this environment over short term and long term with different people who not only have different psychologies and relationships to you, but still exist within the space of the physical, still exist within the space of the masculine and the feminine. So there is always going to be that crossover, and you just need to find that little gleaming bead of likeness between each and every one of these people to know how you can maneuver within this space. It's ever so minute, and like I said, it verges on the theoretical, it verges on the spiritual, above and beyond the simplicities of general dating advice. But she can sense your desperation, okay? And as a wise man said, if you put her on a pedestal, all she can do is look down at you. And given you're the man, and given that she is biologically hardwired to find the man of the household, to be attracted to a dominant figure, a leading figure, somebody who shows leadership, given that is the case, you're not going to do yourself any favors by indicating that she has control over the situation, that she can maneuver you where she wants, because you need her. You don't need her, do you? Or at least that's what you're supposed to portray. Now the thing is, you might try to portray that on a conscious basis, but subconsciously you will act in particular ways and manners as to which will trigger her pattern recognition, her survival mechanism, as to where she is, you know, engaged with so many men in the past before you who has shown her how men are subconsciously attracted to her, right? She is aware of that to some extent. To some extent. So realistically, the best way to sort of get around not showcasing an incredible amount of interest without putting her on a pedestal is to work on yourself. And I know that sounds incredibly cliche, but when you start to shun any single woman on planet Earth because you know your worth, because you know you've got better things to care about, because you know your future holds tenfold the same quality of woman you now may only get one or two of, then by default you will start to show less interest. And that's not to say you're not interested in women, because what a bleak life that would be, but it's to say you can do without, as opposed to this is my one shot to actually get someone I find vaguely attractive and I need to pursue this to the end of the planet. Because she'll be more attractive to the man who showcases a lack of interest purely as he is above and beyond. And by showcasing that lack of interest, that next man is in a position that is better than both of you. He's in pimp position, you're in trick position, and she's a hoe. Respectfully. Respectfully. He owns the company, that's the supervisor / manager. You're a consumer. So you need to get in position where you're working ever so hard day in, day out on your own values, on your own purpose, pursuing what the most is to you. And you can start to think to yourself, well, at the end of the day, I don't have time to be playing this cat and mouse and chasing this woman around, because it's taking me off of my purpose and my path, and I'm going to amount to nothing. When I die, I'll have no legacy. And the end result is I won't get the girl anyway by chasing her. But there is a potential I might get the girl by chasing my own dreams and values and highlighting my own positives and showcasing that what I have got going on is way more important than what she's got to give me. And she'll be attracted by that. She'll be attracted by that. So this is where walking the fine line sort of comes in, and why this push and pull thing is incredibly awkward, because, as I said, even though consciously you might think, right, I best not show any interest, on a subconscious basis, if you had to interact with this woman, you're probably going to be given some degree of indicators of interest. And if you consciously try to fight against that and not give indicators of interest, then there is potential you might fly off the other end and just completely shut her down and scare her away. Okay, and I've been here before. I've tried to create this chemistry, manufacture this chemistry time and time again, and this is why I speak of how awkward it can be. But it does get easier given you have your purpose and you have more important places to invest your energy, right? Gets to a weekend for me, and there's so many women I can get involved with, go out with, bring over to mine, go over to theirs. So many, right? I'm spoilt for choice, but it's completely restrictive on my momentum as a man, as my momentum of achieving the goals in the limited time frame of life I actually have, especially whilst I'm relatively young. It completely detracts and is counterproductive, destructive to my grand purpose. But by being in that space and choosing myself, that means not only is my time and attention worth more to these people, because I don't spend all time having to interact with them, but it means I separate myself from the next man who has got nothing better to do other than to bark when he's told to do so by these women. There's leaders and there's followers in this world, and you naturally are one or the other. And I say naturally because it's not often I come across many leaders. People have dreams, ambitions, and can create and can give it a go. But as far as actually going forth and establishing something worthwhile and putting their mental health, their physical health, their sleep schedule, their energy to drain themselves dull in order to attain over a long term of time what they feel is their spiritual purpose. There's not many men who are out there doing that. But given that is your case, and I speak personally in regards to myself, I don't come from much, so I've got no safety net. So by default, there is a necessity for me to attain and to garner a particular standard of lifestyle as to which my children don't have to go through what I've gone. Through me having this internalized drive, I can place myself in a position as to where, not that I don't need any woman, because I adore women, but I don't need you. Because what benefit are you to me? And then that plays into a different realm. Let's say a woman is pursuing me because she sees I don't pedestalize her and she starts to pursue me. Then it gets to the point of, well, what are you going to offer me? And if that woman is trying to get more out of me than I believe she is worth, then I can put her to one side and find the next woman who's willing to put a bit more effort into me. I went on a date with a woman who was so self-entitled, feeling that I should do this, that, and uphold this standard for her when she was on her way out. And you think to yourself, who do you think I am? You must have such experience with other men who lick your feet, metaphorically speaking, that you're perceiving me in the same manner because your worth isn't of that to me, because I can select an alternate whom not only will I treat with more love and respect by default, she will match me on that energy and provide me the femininity and the motherly love and comfort as to which most men desire once they leave that household. She will care for me, look after me, and ensure that I'm safe and secure as I go forth on my masculine purpose. She will see, smell, and hear the desperation. Find what you need to do and do it. And when it comes to telling her, sorry babe, I'm busy, I'll see you soon, let me get back in touch, then do that. And if she happens to find the next person in between, that's just the way this life goes. Because you've got more of them coming your way of a better standard, of a better value, and you have a bright and fruitful future as a respectful man, a respectable man. Click like and subscribe, that's some game, I'm signing out, peace.